In this video, we are going to see how to create ProofHub tasks from Google Forms. So let's say that you have filled up a form, and this is a Google form where you have filled in the information, and now with that information you want to create a task, and the task should be created in ProofHub, which is a project planning software, so that your team is updated about the task that they have to do. Now how can you do that? For this you will have to integrate the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here your trigger application would be Google Forms and your action application would be ProofHub. So every time a form is submitted, automatically a task would be created. Now how can you do this yourself, integrate and automate this entire process? To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side you can see two tabs, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab, sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation you will get 100 free tasks so that you can explore the entire software freely. Now I'm going to click on sign in as I'm an existing user over here. And here we have reached the all apps page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. And here we have reached the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side you can see a tab create workflow. Let's click on this, and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now here my objective is that every time through Google Form I have received some information regarding a task, then automatically with that information a task should be created in ProofHub. So I'm going to name it as create ProofHub tasks from Google Forms. Let's click on create. So as we do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens and action is do this. Basically action here is the response of our trigger. Now here what would be my trigger application? It would be Google Forms, as I'm getting the information through Google Form. So I'm going to write it here. And let's look for Google Forms. Here it is. Let's click on this. And the trigger event here would be new response received. Now this is the event that will make my workflow start. So I'm going to click on this. Here you can see that this trigger will instantly capture new incoming data and the workflow execution will start in real time. This basically means that you do not have to wait for the response, as there is no polling time over here. Now as we do that, here you can see that we have received a webhook URL. This webhook URL is going to act as a bridge for connecting Pabbly Connect with Google Forms. Now, how do you have to set up this connection? So I'm going to take you to my Google Forms. So this is the form that I have already created. The name is ProofHub Tasks. And then I have the following fields: project title, project description, estimated hours, estimated minutes. Then we have a start date and a due date. So these are the fields that are required. So I'm going to create a task with these fields. Now what is it that we have to do? If I take you back to Pabbly Connect, it is saying that we have to follow the following steps to set up the connection. So I'm going to tell you what we have to do. So once you have completed the form, you have to go to the last question, and then here you can see the required field. Let's toggle this towards the right. Basically we have to switch this on, which means that when your client or customer or the person is filling this form, the moment they will reach the last step, automatically the response would be created. Now once done, let's go to responses. So once we are here, click on this, and here you can select the response destination. So here you can see that we are offered two options: create a new spreadsheet or select existing spreadsheet. So I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. This is the name suggestion, so I'm okay with this, and I'm going to click on create. So here you can see that a spreadsheet has been created with the details, with all the fields that we have created in our form, along with timestamp, which means that it will also give us the time and date of the submission of the form. Now I'm going to take you back to my Google form, and here I'm going to fill this form. So let's click on this preview icon, and here we are going to fill this information. So let's say the project title is new project 123. Then we have the project description. So I'm just going to write test description. Then the estimated hours. Let's say this project will take 10 hours to complete and 20 minutes. Now the start date. So I'm going to make it 14th of November, and again the due date is also 14th of November. So once done, I'm going to click on submit. So as soon as we have done that, here you can see that the response has been captured over here, right? Now we have to connect this particular spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect. So for this, I'm going to take you to extensions, and then here we have to go to add-ons. Once we have reached here, go to get add-ons. And here you have reached Google Workspace Marketplace. Here you have to look for Pabbly Connect webhooks. So let's click on this. And you can see that this particular application is already installed on my system. Make sure that once this is installed, you have to close the window and then you have to refresh this page. So once this is done, what would you do? You are going to go again back to extensions, and this time you can see Pabbly Connect webhooks in the drop down. So you have to go to initial setup. So once you're here, you can see that it has already selected the sheet which is form responses 1. Now it is asking me for the webhook URL and the trigger column. You can receive this webhook URL from Pabbly Connect. We have just received it. I'm going to copy this, go back to ProofHub, and I'm going to paste this over here. And now the trigger column. So this is the final data column on which the data is added. So this is column number G. So I'm going to write G, then send test. Here you can see that the test data has been sent successfully. Let's submit this. And here we can see that the setup is all configured successfully. Once done, close this window, go back to extensions, go back to Pabbly Connect, and make sure the send on event has been checked, which means that every time a response is received, it would be able to send the data. So once this is done, I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to see if it has received the API response, and yes, it has received the response. So we have received the timestamp, start date, spreadsheet name, ID, sheet name and ID, row index, project title, description, estimated minutes, hours and due date. So once we have received this response, our next objective is that I have to create a task in ProofHub. So the action application this time would be ProofHub. Let's click on this. And the event here would be to create a task. Let's click on connect. Here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the ProofHub account. So I'm going to select add new connection, and then to set up this connection we need the domain and API key. To receive this domain, I'm taking you to ProofHub account, and here you can see the URL. So right before proofhub.com, this is your domain. I'm going to copy this, go back to Pabbly Connect here and paste it over here. And then the API key. To receive this API key, we have to go to ProofHub, then we have to go to the profile icon. Here you can see API access. Let's click on this, and this is your API key. Let's copy this, go back to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. Once done, let's click on save to set up this connection. And here you can see that ProofHub is now connected with Pabbly Connect. So once this is connected, here we have to map this data. Mapping basically means that I have received this information in my previous step. I'm just going to retrieve it here. It is important because if I'll write this information like title, description, estimated hours and minutes manually, then every time this workflow runs and it should fetch the new data, it would not be able to do that. It will only take this manually written data. That is why mapping is important. And how do we do that? See, it has already captured the project ID, which is connect, and the to-do list ID, which is new task. For the title, I'm going to click on this. As soon as I do that, go to step 1, and here is your project title. Then we have the description. So again, I'm going to go here, go down, and this is project description. Estimated hours. So here is the estimated hours. Then we have the estimated minutes. So here we have, and then the start date. So this is the start date, and then we have the due date. So this is our due date. And then the assignees. So I'm going to assign this to a particular person. Let's say it is admin@pabblytudes.com. Then the labels. So let's say this is a high priority task. And then finally the line item attachments folder. If you want to attach any particular folder, then the ID should be here. And if you want to attach a particular file, then the file ID should come in the second step. So I'm going to toggle this back and click on save and send test request. So once done, here you can see that we have received the API response. So we have the title, description, start date, due date, estimated hours, minutes, and then we have the created timestamp as well. So once you have received this information, what should happen? Automatically a task should be created in ProofHub. So now I'm going to take you to ProofHub to see if we have received a project, if a task has been created. So here I'm going to go to projects, and this is our Connect. So let's click on this, and yes, here you can see a task has been created. The name is new project 123. This is the start date, due date, labels, assignees, time, and then this is the progress. Basically, this means that our integration is a success, but we also need to check this in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to Google Forms, and here I'm going to fill another form. So let's go on preview. Let's say the project title here is demo project. Then we have the description. So it is demo description. And then we have the estimated hours. Let's say it is 7 hours. And the minutes is, let's say it is 30 minutes. Then the start date. This time it is 15th, and it also ends on 15th. Let's click on submit. Now, as soon as I've submitted this form, I need to go and check my ProofHub account if a task has been created. So I'm going to refresh this page, and here you can see that yes, the task has been created, which basically means that the integration that we have set up is a total success. Now let me take you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So this is an extremely easy two-step integration process where our trigger application is Google Forms and our trigger event is new response received. Our action application is ProofHub and our action event is create a task. I hope this is very much clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the description box. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any particular integration that you wish to work on, please write to us. Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website, which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.